Hi, I'm Pastor Edward Harden of the Berean Seventh-day Adventist Church in Jackson, Mississippi. This week in Senate hearings discussing Georgia's new voting laws, one of my state senators, Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith, offered the fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, as a rationale for new voting restrictions in the state of Georgia. As a Black Seventh-day Adventist pastor and a constituent of Cindy Hyde-Smith, I felt it my moral obligation to speak out on why her statements were both morally and theologically unsound. The fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath day, was meant by God to be an instrument to uplift not only humanity, but all of his creation. That's why you see in Exodus 20, verses 8 through 11, that the liberties of the Sabbath not only apply to God's servant, but to manservant and womenservant and beast and cattle and stranger. The Sabbath was meant to uplift and not to put down. It's one of the reasons why Jesus was in so many controversies about the Sabbath, because theological leaders at the time had used the Sabbath as an instrument of spiritual oppression. And Jesus was showing that it was to be an instrument of liberation, to lift up the least and the lost and the left behind. That's why, for instance, last Sabbath, I spent it with the St. James Baptist Church here in Jackson in their water drive, helping to address the needs of those who still didn't have quality water. Because God meant the Sabbath as a blessing to uplift people and not to put them down. I'm also challenged by her statements from a theological standpoint. And in order to understand where I'm coming from here, we need to look no further than the story of the resurrection, since that's the season we're in. In Mark, the 16th chapter, verses 1 and 2, the Bible says, "And when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, and Salome had brought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came unto the sepulchre at the rising of the sun." The Bible describes the first day of the week as the resurrection, and that day happened after the Sabbath had passed. And so the first day of the week, or Sunday, is not the Sabbath, but it is the day of the resurrection. And in this resurrection season, I am challenged at the prospect of using the day that Jesus rose from the grave as an instrument to put people down. And so what are we to do? I think Micah says it best in chapter 6 and verse 8. "He has shown you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." May God continue to raise us all up in this season of the resurrection. May God richly bless you.